Today's presentation is about how Scarlett. Today's academic essay is about how Scarlett fundamentally reorganized Zerg strategy in StarCraft II through a mode of play best understood through the concept of discernment, ordered freedom, and prudence judgment, against the prevailing technocratic orthodoxy that frames Zerg as a race of maximal growth, delayed responsibility, and inevitable late-game dominance. Scarlett emphasized proportion, timing, humility before uncertainty, and attentiveness to the concrete situation. Her approach did not reject structure, but subordinated mechanical abundance to moral intelligence. This essay contends that Scarlett reinvented Zerg by restoring judgment over appetite, transforming Zerg from an ideology of excess into a discipline of rightly ordered action. The intellectual tradition rejects the notion that technique alone produces wisdom. Whether in theology, education, or governance, skill without judgment is dangerous, and power without discernment leads to disorder. Strategy, therefore, is never merely technical, it is formative. Competitive StarCraft II provides a surprisingly rigorous arena for examining this truth. Each race encodes not only mechanics, but habits of thought. Zerg, in particular, has historically been understood as a system of abundance, constant growth, relentless economic expansion, and confidence that excess will eventually overcome opposition. Scarlett's contribution must be read as a moral intervention into this system. She did not abandon Zerg nature, but disciplined it. She did not deny growth, but refused gluttony. She practiced temperance within power. Part 2. Classic Zerg orthodoxy and the sin of excess. Traditional Zerg doctrine, especially during the mid to late StarCraft II eras, rested on several assumptions. Growth is always good. 1. 2. Delayed action is justified by future superiority. 3. Risk can be deferred indefinitely. 4. Mechanical execution substitutes for judgment. This mindset mirrors theological concepts such as disordered desire. Growth becomes an end in itself rather than a means. The Zerg player is trained to drone reflexively, even when the situation calls for restraint. I'm trying to cut out words here. Pedagogy emphasizes cura personalis, care for the whole person and the whole context. Zerg orthodoxy, by contrast, cares only for metrics, supply count, worker count, base count. Scarlett's play broke that idolatry of numbers. Part 3. Discernment. Discernments of spirit. The disciplined practices of attending to concrete reality rather than the abstract rules. Discernment asks, what is called for here, now given these conditions? Scarlett's Zerg play was marked by precisely this attentiveness. She repeatedly made choices that violated generic correct play in order to respond to opponent positioning, timing windows, psychological momentum, information asymmetries, where Orthodox Zerg doctrine prescribed automatic droning. Scarlett paused. When the meta demanded greed, she exercised caution. This was not fear, but prudence, the cardinal virtue that governs right action amid uncertainty. She refused consolidation that came too easy. Ordered freedom versus mechanical autonomism. Ordered freedom constrained by purpose. Blah, blah. You must emphasize ordered freedom. Freedom constrained by purpose, not impulse. A student is not free because they can do anything, but because they choose the right thing at the right time. Scarlett treated Zerg economy not as an automatic process, but a freedom requiring governance. Drones were not produced because they could be, but because they should be. This stands in contrast to the dominant Zerg mentality, which resembled what St. Augustine called concupiscencia, desire running ahead of reason. The race's mechanics tempt the players towards excess. Scarlett resisted that temptation. Her Zerg was free because it was constrained. Part 5. Sacrifice and the refusal of false security. Blah, blah, blah. Tradition emphasizes sacrifice, the willingness to give up immediate advantage for long-term integrity. Scarlett's strategies often involved early military investment, reduced worker counts, narrower economic margins. From a purely technical perspective, these were sacrifices. From another perspective, these were acts of trust. Trust in judgment over accumulation, trust in timing over volume. Scarlett refused the security of eventual late-game dominance. She accepted vulnerability at the cost of moral clarity. Part 6. Humility before complexity. Many thinkers, from Augustus of Loyola to Teilhard de Chardin, stress humility before complexity. Reality is not fully predictable. Systems resist total control. Scarlett's Zerg reflected this humility. She did not accept the dominance. She did not attempt to dominate the game through sheer scale. Instead, she navigated through responsiveness. Her play acknowledged that opponents are agents, not obstacles. This is... okay. The world is not raw material to be consumed, but a field of relationships to be respected. Part 7. Gender, authority, and non-dominant power. Though this essay avoids biographical reductionism, it must be noted that Scarlett's authority emerged from resilience on domination. Her power was quiet, disciplined, and resistant to spectacle. Leadership models emphasize authority through service, not coercion. Scarlett's influence followed this pattern. She did not impose a new orthodoxy through force, but invited reconsolidation through example. Her Zerg won by being right, not by being loud. Part 8. Reinvention as moral reorientation. To say Scarlett reinvented Zerg is not to claim she erased its identity. Rather, she reordered its loves. What? Growth became subordinate to subject. Economy served strategy, not ego. Power was exercised with restraint. Sin is not desire itself, but desire out of order. Scarlett restored order to Zerg desire. Scarlett restored order to Zerg desire. Part 9. Legacy, formation, rather than imitation. Scarlett's true legacy is not a set of builds, but a formation of consciousness among Zerg players. After her, it became legitimate to stop droning intentionally, play defensively without shame, act early without apology. These are not mechanical changes, they are changes of mind and heart. Part 10. Conclusion. The swarm disciplined. Scarlett did not weaken the Zerg, she saved it from itself. By introducing discernment into abundance, restraint into order, humility into dominance, Scarlett transformed Zerg strategy into something closer to a ideal of disciplined freedom, ordered toward the good of the whole. In a game obsessed with optimization, she reminded players that wisdom is not the same as efficiency. That is why her influence endures. I've never played StarCraft II, but thank you. That's my essay on Scarlett from StarCraft II. I spent many years writing that. Thank you.